Hi, my name is Miss Rojas, and I am your child's modern civilizations teacher for fall of 2020. I wanted to explain some things about the class to you, but first I wanted to give you a little background information about myself. I've been teaching at West Ranch for 16 years, so since the school opened, and overall I've been teaching for 21 years. But even though I have been teaching for such a long time, as with many teachers this year, I feel like this is my first year back learning all brand new things all over again. It's my goal this semester or however long we are distance learning to make sure that I'm still incorporating a lot of the information that students like to learn and like to do when we are in the physical classroom. So I'm trying to, as I create each lesson, see how I can duplicate the classroom as much as possible. Of course, it's not always possible, and I do need to make some adjustments. But overall, I feel that the semester has been going really well. I've enjoyed having your students in class. They ask a lot of really great questions. They're very attentive, and I've been very impressed with their overall work ethic. In terms of modern civilizations, this semester we cover topics such as the early days of democratic revolutions, such as the French Revolution, the American and Latin American revolutions. We will look at the Industrial Revolution, the unification of European countries such as Germany and Italy and Russia, and then we will end with World War I. So those are our main topics for this semester. I wanted to show you guys my Google Classroom so you can see what your students experience and where you can look for information as well. When you log into Google Classroom, it takes you to this section here in the site, and I always encourage them or tell them to skip the stream. That's what you're looking at right now. I learned from the spring last year that many students got very confused with looking at the stream. So I told them, just go to classwork. Just click on the classwork. You'll see that on this page, I have general information, class information. We have the Zoom invitation that they will open and click on every day. We start with them logging in through Zoom. I take attendance, go over any kind of announcements that I need to tell them, and explain to them what we're going to be doing that day in class. Through Zoom, I try to incorporate a lot of different types of learning. Sometimes I will go through a PowerPoint presentation with them, and I will, explain and ask them questions and get them to participate. Sometimes we will work on an activity together as a class. Sometimes I'm also through Zoom able to put them into what is called a breakout room where they are able to work in small groups, and I'm able to pop in and out of those groups to see how they're doing, if they need help. We also occasionally I will give them, time to work on things by themselves. So I will encourage them to leave their Zoom cameras on if they want to. They can also turn the Zoom camera off when they're working by themselves. Sometimes I'll let them go and I will tell them, okay, you need to be back in Zoom at a certain time, which I would tell them. They come back, we go over the activity that they did by themselves. So every day is a different learning style, different activities. It's not the same every time. So those are some of the things that I have been using the last few weeks. I wanted to show you, again, what they do every day is they would click on whatever day it was. So for example, the day that I'm filming this was Wednesday, August 26th. So they opened that day when they came into class, and I always go over this with them at the beginning. We talk about the agenda, and this was a 35-minute class period that day. So I had assigned to them a 15-minute video, which I discovered is better for them to watch on their own. When I've tried to show a couple clips to them through my computer, many of them say that it starts to glitch, they can't hear it. So again, learning as I'm going with all of this technology and what works and what doesn't, I decided today to have them go off on their own, watch the 15-minute video. I had questions that they needed to answer, and as the directions said, they were to turn it in by the end of the period. And you can see from this, 9 of them didn't. I did have a few kids absent, but there's a few of them that did not turn the questions in like they were supposed to. And then their daily homework is always right here. And I've been verbally telling them since Monday that they are going to have a test, the following Monday. So again, this is where they can find that information. One thing that I have encouraged them every day is that I do tell them to always make sure that they're communicating with me. Like I said, I was very impressed not only with how my students did in the spring, with really being on top of their work and talking to me if they had any issues, but your children also have been that way. It is mandatory in my class for them to keep their cameras on unless I tell them that they can turn them off. But I do need to see their beautiful faces to make sure that they are there, they're paying attention. I see a lot of foreheads. I have to kind of keep telling them to focus the camera on their faces. But if they're having a problem with their webcam, I tell them, just give me a message in the chat box. Zoom has the ability for the student to talk to the teacher one-on-one without the whole class knowing. So I do encourage them to let me know. Some of them have even emailed me prior to class, telling me that they were having issues with their camera. So they've all been very responsible in that sense. Another thing too, in terms of how they can talk, I have told them to unmute themselves if they have a question. They're not super excited about doing that yet, but that is an opportunity for them to ask me questions. And probably the best way to get a hold of me when we are not in Zoom is through email. And I've encouraged them to reach out to me if they have questions while they're doing their homework or their classwork or, working on something by themselves. I won't see a comment that they put in Google Classroom while they're working on the assignment until I open the assignment. So I've told them that the best way to get a hold of me for a quick response is through my email, which I do check fairly frequently. I've been trying to give them work that they can accomplish within the class period so that they don't have too much that they're doing outside of that scheduled time. But there are some days where they are working on, stuff as homework. But it should be very minimal. It shouldn't take them more than 20 minutes to do a homework assignment. So like I said, the main thing again is communication. If you feel there's something on your end where they are struggling, they don't want to reach out to me, maybe they're embarrassed or they don't want to email me, please let me know. Okay, please email me. I also have flex time, which is about 1:45 to 3:30. If your student wants to set up an appointment with me, right now I'm just doing it through appointment only. We can set up a time again where I can create a Zoom for just me and your student, and we can go over any issues they may have. I hope that they see that I am very open and I'm here to help them. That's always been my number one goal as a teacher, is that I'm here to make them be as successful as they can in the class. I'm very approachable. I'm willing to work with them. But as I tell them over and over again, I have to know if they're having a problem. So they have to be able to vocalize that to me. I'm really, like I said, looking forward to spending the semester at least with your students. Hopefully, I will have them the whole year. Sometimes we switch students up at the semester. And of course, I hope that we're able to get back in the classroom as soon as we can safely do so, because there's nothing better than being in the classroom with students where I can really see their faces and expressions, and we can feed off of each other. But other than that, please let me know if there's any issues or anything, any concerns that you have. And like I said, so far, I'm really enjoying having your kids in class. Thank you.